How you doing, Cleveland? This is head coach of the Cleveland Crunch, Antonio Manfut, and you're watching Crunchland. This isn't to be cocky or anything, but I feel if we play them 10 out of 10 times, this is the one we win 9 out of 10.
Welcome to Crunchland, where the turf ignites. Cleveland's champs, we own the Knights. Kicking goals, we strike with flair. Indoor kings, none compare. Headers fly, the crowd's alive. Dribbling fast, we always thrive. From the penalty spot to the final whistle's call, Crunchland rocks, we got it all.
Welcome to Crunchland, the official podcast of the Cleveland Crunch. And here's your host, Chris Akin.
It is Crunchland, and I am your host, Chris Akin. Welcome back to another season. We are super excited about the brand new season of the Cleveland Crunch. And here to bring us up to date on all of it is the coach himself, Coach Antonio Manfut. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Appreciate you having me on here.
I love talking to you, man, and I'm super excited about the season. And we'll get into the season here in a second, but I just want to go back to the unfortunate last time we all kind of saw each other, which was that heartbreaking defeat in the finals at the end of the season. How do you as the coach, we'll start there. How do you as the coach move past that? Because I know it crushed everybody that's involved and whatnot. It was a very tough loss. And then you have to live with it for a lot longer than during the regular season where you live with it for a couple days. You know, talk a little bit about how long it took to overcome it and when you started planning for the new season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll ever settle in well with any of us. That's 100%. I know with me, I actually personally haven't even fully watched the game again. Okay. In the moment, the stars were kind of aligning how everything was supposed to be. Back and forth, perfect kind of matchup for everyone. It was fantastic for all of Cleveland and indoor soccer fans in general to see. Back and forth game going into overtime, stars aligning perfectly for if we would have got that win there. And unfortunately, chips didn't fall the right way. And if it did, it would probably be one of the most unforgettable things on the positive side. And unfortunately, it's on the negative side of the same exact feeling. Sure. But with that being said, though, so much to look forward to. Like, yeah, we're moving past it. It still stings. It'll always sting. Wouldn't really have it's a little bit of motivation for us, I would say. Most definitely looking forward to the season coming up. But it's just motivation for us. And yeah, it's done with, but it'll always be there. And we're going to use it as motivation for the season. We had motivation from the year before when we went to the finals, target on our back as the defending champs, got all the way to the finals. It just didn't happen. And still now we're going to use a different set of motivation to continue our journey this season.
Sure. Is there anything looking back, and like you said, you haven't even watched the whole game, so maybe not, but was there anything that you do look at, you know, as the coach where you say, this is the area that we have to improve this year because this is what cost us in that final game?
Yeah, well, looking back, so, no, I didn't watch the game, but I can probably tell you a lot of things that went wrong just off memory of
Sure.
I couldn't believe how it happened, actually. This isn't to be cocky or anything, but I feel if we play them 10 out of 10 times, this is the one we win 9 out of 10.
Right.
And that was the one that they got, and is because of, I think, mistakes that happened on our end, things that never we really let happen in the regular season. I think all of the men were very disciplined. I'm really a big advocate for the discipline on the indoor game, things that need to get done, and we did them all season. And for whatever reason, pressure, unlucky on some touches, some things that happened that we never let happen in the regular season. They just happened to happen that game. Couple bounces, couple calls each way, certain things. I think the stars align in their favor as well for their victory. So a lot of things I could tell you that kind of went wrong. But that's indoor. It's like hockey. If you ever see hockey, it's very, very similar. I relate it very similar to hockey. Is a lot of chaos, and if a guy's gets one little touch on his pinky toe, the ball doesn't go in. Instead, it's an upper 90s laser. It's crazy how close it can go either way. So that's just indoor soccer, and that's just the way it felt that game.
Right on, man. Well, Coach, going into the new season, obviously you do have returning leadership, and you have, some key leadership that returns. For you as the coach, Who are you most excited has returned to the team, and who brings the most, I don't want to say value because that's not a fair word, but who brings the most to the newer players to help guide them to be part of this team that has your attitude built into it?
First of all, we had our first preseason training yesterday,
Right.
and smile on everyone's faces just seeing each other because some guys don't get to see each other during the off season, and that's
Sure.
how it goes. So everyone's just excited to be back on the field, and I'm excited personally to see everybody. We like I've said before on previous things that I've been with these guys for a very long time, and then I continue my pro indoor jersey around the whole country, and ended up back home in Cleveland. But it's always a pleasure to play with these guys. We've been together for a very, very long time, so. I know we're all getting older. I know families and things come about, and we're not spring chickens anymore. So anytime we get to be around each other in the soccer field is amazing. So it's always a pleasure to see everybody. But in the aspect of your question you're asking here, a lot of people bring value. I know a lot of our core guys have been amazing, and just some guys' personalities translate well to the younger guys. Some guys are a bit rough on the other young guys, and that's just how it is. And you'll ask any sport in any league, any division and stuff that there's players in all different personalities and stuff. But the guys over here, the older guys, Captain DJ, he does always really well helping out some younger guys. I know he helped out Omar, one of our younger guys, who actually translated very well last
Sure.
2 seasons stuff. So he's helped him out. Minick is another guy who speaks a bit during trainings and stuff, and gives some advice to the guys as well too. A lot of good leadership in general on the team. Admir leading by example as always. You know him,
Mhm.
always doing the right things that he needs to be done. Just we have so many talented guys here, though. I'm looking forward to another big season for Pewu and Omar as well. I called those guys. Those are the big dynamic duo for those guys. They played so well together and built some good chemistry. And I think that for Omar, I was very happy with his progress and how he's been doing the last couple of years. And Pewu, not that it was surprising to me, but I actually had Pewu my first year, and he wasn't able to play a lot because he was injured and didn't have him too much on my radar since then. And then he came in and absolutely was amazing.
Sure.
One of our big key target forwards, and he's very coachable and is a very likable guy too. So I'm looking for another big season for him as well, and just learning the indoor game. And that's one of the coolest things in my role here as a coach is I have so much information to give the guys, and now this is going on my third year, and I've said this before again, it's not like they didn't know before, but there's just definitely style and way that indoor soccer is, and it's not just a normal game. There's so many runs and rotations that need to be done, and in the last 2 years, those guys have been amazing in learning it. So I'm very, very much excited for all the veteran guys
Sure.
to be learning, to continue their progress of obviously still learning, but just to show how much experience they've gone. And you saw it last year, and again, I think it's going to be even better now this season.
Sure. Now, you mentioned Pewu. I did want to ask you about that. I thought at the end of the season, especially the last 4 or 5 games, he really stepped up his game. Like it was like a totally different player from the beginning of the season. Did you see that? And how much of that was just him adjusting to the game versus you coaching him up to his potential?
Yeah, so I don't want to take credit for all this stuff because he's an amazing player in
Sure.
general. Just in general, for sure. All of our guys, to name a couple, Bozek as well has been amazing. Trying to think of just Mikey's always been amazing for us too. Admir MVP as well. We got a lot of guys here, but like you say, the coaching aspect, I saw. So before I took the job, obviously I'm following our guys because I'm doing my own career in Florida,
Mhm.
Baltimore, all the places I was. So I was watching the guys succeed, and I was so excited to get this opportunity because I was like, you guys are so talented. If you guys actually just like learned how to play like high level indoor and stuff with runs and rotations and defensive prowess and everything, you guys are going to be amazing. And just like you said, so P was a great player and everything like that. And I think from the years before, he did well, but a bit of my coaching, it kind of helps lay them up for like a good example I brought up earlier was Omar and Pewu because
Mhm.
they get so many assists and goals off each other, which is amazing. And it's funny, I joke about it. I call Omar Waluigi. He's so long legged, and he just straight. I tell him pass the ball deep and get in the box, and he plays it deep, and he just runs like Waluigi all the way to the box. And Pewu does a great job holding it up. I say, Pewu, you're going to be the big guy. You're going to hold it down low, be strong, turn, hit the boards, and do your thing when you need to. And those two, like I said, from the coaching style, they listen and they're very coachable, which is amazing. So I don't want to take all the credit for it, because they have their own creativity. He does his own stuff. He has his own flair and everything, as do all of our players.
Sure.
But like you said, from the very beginning, not that I questioned Pewu, but I was like, oh, how's he going to work? How's he going to do it? And he took off right away with all the information I gave it, times 100. So it was great by him.
Absolutely. Well, obviously every season that comes, coach, you have new blood that comes in, you have new people that come in, and I'm sure you have some that, it's hard. I'm sure right now with one practice, it's you can't really evaluate too much what you've brought in new, but when you brought in people, when you're bringing people in, do you do it based on I'll call it a positional need, meaning, this guy can play forward and he's, good at this or that, or do you assess it based on as much attitude and willingness to adopt what the team attitude is when you bring them in?
That's a fantastic way to phrase everything, what you just did, because there's so many things that go into a reason why I have certain players, and every coach does this in their own way for whatever reason they're looking to build, whatever team they are. I think that's a great way you put it, because I always get suggestions from people that players know. Everyone knows everyone. Everyone's a great player. Everyone thinks that this guy's amazing or this is that. And I agree, there's some good players out there. And then the first thing I say, like indoor, that's exactly what I say almost every time, is that indoor is a different game.
Right.
Indoor is 100% a different game. It's almost a different sport. And sometimes I remember being a fresh 18-year-old coming out. I came back from Mexico actually playing, and I'm looking to continue my career. And I was 18, and I went into Syracuse, New York. Tommy Tanner, shout out to Tommy Tanner, classic Cleveland Crunch guy over there. Gave me my first career opportunity in the pros. But I thought I was hot stuff. I thought I was the man, and then I came out there and it got a little smack in the face kind of thing, reality of how, like, what it takes to be a high level, like indoor small-sided player. It's a very different sport. Even here in Cleveland, people play indoor, outdoor, everything growing up, but it's not the same as you get to the highest level. Obviously, there's so many different things, like I mentioned before. So when picking these players, everyone's saying, oh, this guy's amazing, this guy's great. I was like, indoor's a different game. And I kind of look at their attributes and kind of things that I think that would fit well in the indoor game, where I need big targets to hold up the ball, but still agile and quick on their feet, where they're going to be being able to get back and defend. You get defenders who maybe big, strong guys, big brute kind of things. I do well with center backs outdoor, where they're not very technical on the ball, where you need to be. Everybody on the field needs to have some kind of composure, some kind of on the ball skill, to be completely honest. You can't be a donkey, a burro to play indoor at all, to be serious with this. So, and then even all the way to the keepers. The keepers, if you notice, they have this TST tournament. Going off topic here a bit, but it goes into everything, is that this TST tournament they have is for $1 million, all these things. And the last year, I think almost every year, they bring in some big names and everything. And every year that been so far is that the indoor guys have won, a team full of indoor guys, because it's small side and they just know. They're very technical. They're very composed. Even the keepers, they bring them up into the field and play with their feet. They're so good with their feet as well. So that's another point of emphasis that I really pride myself on is technical ability and stuff. You need to have that to play this game. Another thing into it is just, like you said, camaraderie. I've had guys personally that I've seen in locker rooms from my 11-year pro indoor career myself playing, where I've seen some amazing players that got traded or cut or released for whatever reason, because it doesn't mesh with the team or it doesn't fit what the team's looking for, what the coach is looking for. So a lot of people, not that they don't know sports or anything, but we used to hear, even me, like NFL or something, that people were talking about, why isn't this guy this, or this guy should be doing that and stuff. We don't know the ins and out of locker rooms, and that's a huge part of it. I know I have players that were on teams specifically, maybe they weren't the best players, but they make the locker room a better place, and they're good teammates and stuff. So all these things build into having a great team. And I think that we personally have a great mesh of everything we need right now. We're still always looking to progress. I'm always looking for pieces that are going to help us. But I don't want to mess up the chemistry of the team and everything like that. So we have a great group of young guys. I'm very excited for this group of young players we actually have. Somehow I find a diamond in the rut, or they surprise me sometimes, a diamond and all this stuff, because there's always like one guy that comes out each year that's a young guy that you don't expect, not that you don't expect that of them, but they surprise you a bit, and they do well with it. So last year, I believe in the open tryouts we think I took 2 players only out of it. It wasn't anything bad of a pool, but just wasn't as strong, I would say. And this year, I think we ended up taking five from the
Okay.
open tryout. Yep. And then I also handpicked a couple players that I like that I know around the area to give them opportunities. Again, to see the indoor game, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's very different when you go against trialist guys as well, and then you come into the actual first team, and then you see what it's actually like, and maybe some guys don't look as good. So this is kind of the area we're in right now with our team. So we have some young guys and some trialist guys coming in for these next couple of weeks, probably before our inter squad scrimmage. And
Sure.
then I told them yesterday and how it's going to be. I'm real cutthroat on coming to this stuff. I'm trying to win a championship. This is my job, and this is what it is. I coach youth soccer as well, and it's almost night and day how I am as a person. The parents love me, and oh, you're so great with the kids, and then they see me at the crunch, like, wow, we didn't know that you're like that. I'm like, that's how
Right.
you have to be sometimes. So I'll be making some movements on the roster in the next couple of weeks and stuff. But I'm excited to see the young guys. It's a good group of guys this year.
Sure. With the roster, well, let me back up a little bit. Obviously, last year, in addition to the fast play, the attacking play that you guys did, one thing that really stood out with the Crunch over basically everybody else in the league was your attention to the depth of the roster. You had great depth, and when somebody came out, and when you switched players, it was without a definitive loss of ability, which that's very rare, to have a roster like that. Going into this new season, is that how you're putting it together to maximize depth, or are you looking at specific things that maybe you felt, specific skill sets that maybe you felt weren't as strong as they needed to be last year?
That's a good question here, because the beauty about indoor soccer, it's not the same as outdoor soccer where
Mhm.
I have to put out however many guys, 11v11, whatever it might be, and I can't make any changes and if they make that change, I can't go back to it, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So in indoor soccer, it's pretty cool because you get to have timeouts, you get to have set pieces. I get to, if in this one scenario, the ball goes out and I'm like, I want this guy here, this specific guy. He's really good at this one specific thing. Not saying that that's all they're good for, but he specializes in this. I'm able to hurry up and get these kinds of things. So that's another way on game day rosters, people can be
Mhm.
selected.
Sure.
Certain thing we're playing against different opponents and stuff. But I think that's the beauty about indoors is you can kind of manipulate how or change right away in that instance what you kind of need in that moment. So I just know that indoor, it's a bit of a funny game sometimes. We actually shout out to Doug Miller, another old Cleveland Crunch guy.
Mhm.
I actually got the benefit of playing for him when he coached me a little bit, as well as playing with him at the end of his career. And I'm talking about he was an older guy, like an older guy that like, dang, why is this guy like kind of playing? And it's funny because he like would still get points. He would still get like he
Sure.
would come on maybe just for free kicks, maybe just for a power play. And that's a really cool thing. And you can see how skilled some of these, especially some of the older guys who really played indoor for their career. But you can get those players who get to be put in specific moments, like a power play guy in the NHL or a power kill. I have some guys that I know my first year or two in the league, when I was 18, I was only on power kill. And anybody who knows me, I'm not really known for my defensive prowess,
Right.
more of an offensive guy. And it's funny because that's how I'm really on the defensive end. I'm really pounding these guys about focusing on the defense. How I wasn't quite like that as a player, but
Sure.
it's cool because you're able to manipulate that. You're able to get people into specific things that makes them strive and stuff like that. So I'm a big fan of the indoor game. I can talk to you. I'm excited. I'm here. I get that this. I haven't spoken like this for. I feel like I'm blabbing on a bit, but I can talk to you about
No,
indoor
it's
soccer
fine.
for. I could
It's
talk
fine.
about indoor soccer for a long time. So
Well, we'll have you a couple times on during the year, and we'll just shoot the stuff
I would
about
love to.
it.
Yeah, I would love
It'll
to.
be great. Well, Coach, obviously, outside of the X's and O's here, probably the biggest change is the move, the actual move of the team downtown. I'm sure it's exciting for you. And talk a little bit about the move, and talk specifically. And I don't want to bash the old field to the new, but I'm assuming that the Wolstein Center, with much more money behind it, has a much nicer facility, a much nicer field, a better play field. So talk a little bit about the move itself and what you see as the advantages to moving to the Wolstein.
Yeah. So first off, Sports Life has been fantastic for us. We still train there. That's our training facility, and it's great. And it housed us what we needed to be done for the years to build up to what it is now, and we're grateful for them for sure. So nothing definitely about bashing it, but
Sure.
with me, from what I did since I've been 18, all I've known is indoor soccer, and at the highest level before our league now that we're in was generated. So this is what I'm used to. This is what I told the guys, like, and I tell it to the guys, and I hope all of our fans and anyone who's ever supported the Crunch like understands like how much of a deal this means to us personally, but then to the whole city, because there's a lot of things that, especially even our players who are around it every single day, but like there's so many things that they don't get to see that has to get done behind the scenes. And me being throughout my career, like I didn't think I understood at the very beginning either. Like we just kind of show up, do our job, we're the soccer guys and everything like that. But there's so much business side. There's so many things that need to get done that have to fall into place, and sometimes they don't. And for the smallest reasons, or for something happens, falls through, and we're just so happy about all the hard work that the office and everyone has done to make this happen. It's been so long in the making to make it happen. I think this is the fifth or sixth year now that since they've been back, and we finally get there. And I understand, speaking with Tommy Tanner is one of the person who told me kind of logistics of everything. It takes a long time to make all this stuff work, and a lot of people do it for the love of the game. We're not getting rich off of all this stuff, but people will do it to make it happen, to make dreams come true, to be honest. And we're very excited. I'm so pumped to be back into a huge arena, especially a legendary one where they used to play back in the day.
Sure.
It really is very very important to our fans as well. I just think that it's our home. You know, I think this is where we need to be, where we should be. It's exciting coming into the nice locker rooms. They have all the equipment, they have all the trainers, everything's there that needs to be done. And it's the professionalism is how it is. So even in the years before, not that it wasn't, but I try to keep everyone to a higher standard. Say, hey, this is what it's going to be. We're still going to do all the right things to be professional, and it starts from you guys. And the front office has been amazing with it. So they're keeping the professionalism as high as possible. Getting back to the arena is going to be absolutely amazing. The first time we went out for our semifinal game against Pewu, I'm probably getting goosebumps talking about it right now. When we walked out to the stands, all the fans were there, and this was just to walk out for our warm-up.
Sure.
For our warm-up, and the announcer says, now welcome back for the very first time in however many years it's been. Welcome back home, and there's a Cleveland Crunch, and the crowd absolutely goes amazing. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it, seriously, because it was an amazing feeling. Amazing feeling to be there and back there for the first time. And I believe that the home opener will be amazing like that as well. And hopefully our last home game, but all the games overall. I think it's just the right place we need to be at, and something for the city of Cleveland. There's so many great things going on in the city of Cleveland, the world of soccer. There's so many outdoor things happening. I know outdoor is getting a big wave of it, and indoor had lost its flair in a little bit back, and I'm happy that we're bringing it back. And I really hope that this is a long-term thing. I know, like I said, the logistics, a lot of things happen involved that make things work or not work. And I really, really believe in our front office and the things that they're doing to make it a long-term thing, because this is where we need to be. And everyone should be excited as we are.
Sure. As the coach and as somebody that, lives it from the floor, more or less, talk about how important it is to have that room full of people. Full of people cheering on the team and stuff. Talk a little bit about, does that give you guys that extra oomph to, maybe when you're evenly matched, it gives you that extra little bit of energy to play that much harder or that much faster?
Almost definitely. I mean, back in the Champions League, they changed the format, but it used to be like, if you tied away, it would be like almost like a win. And you would and if you tied at home, you would go, or excuse me, if you forgot not the format, but they give you extra points. It was like almost like a half a point when you did something away, because it is so difficult to play anywhere away when those fans are like that. So I think we have some of the most amazing fans, especially in our league here. And like you said, that we just feed off it. That's what makes that loss a little bit tough, because it was in front of our home fans and everything lined up. And a lot of our guys saying it was such an important game because of all the people who are here. And I'm especially excited for this season, because me having my whole career at the highest level of indoor soccer and with the national team of futsal, I don't think I've ever been able to play in front of so many of my personal friends and family. My parents and my wife and everything have come to visit me and done these things with me, but I've always been away from my home city. So now having this opportunity, and I'm really want my players to understand the opportunity they have here, and like we said, we want this to be long term, but we don't know how long it's going to last or anything's going to last. This could be their last games or whatever. But I want everyone to take every game that we play there, especially. Don't take any of this for granted. Look at me, I'm over here trying to sneak in some games here too, because there's absolutely nothing like playing and stuff. And if I can take everything back, I go do everything all over the same again, and just enjoy everything a bit more, because those fans screaming your names, they're coming to pay you ticket. That's something my dad always emphasized on me, is like, kind of, we're showmen, and the fans come to pay to see us play. And we want to go out there, give them a good show. And we're very grateful for the fans who come out and do it, who's been doing it for such a long time. And we want to put out a good show for them. They help us tremendously, scoring those goals, getting the crowds up, doing backflips and stuff, making everything exciting for them is if not more enjoyable for us to do it in front of our friends and family here. So it means so much to be back here in the city of Cleveland, and we're very excited to see all of our fans there this year.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, it's probably too early for me to ask this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. December 6th is the kickoff game against Lansing, and January 10th is obviously the first home game. Do you have any feel yet of how you're going to prepare for? Well, let's start with the December 6th game. Do you have any feel for that yet, or way too early to even ask?
No, not too early to ask, but I don't have an answer for you on it completely yet. I know it's exciting because each and every year we're lucky we have a good core group, and we bring in some pieces here and there, but a lot of teams change over the years. And you look back on film, especially the first game, it's always tough to figure out how teams are going to be, or what they've added or what they lost, because you don't really know. So these first couple of games are going to be exciting to see. I believe the first game of our actual league is next weekend. So I'm going to be tuning in, having different screens up, watching all the games, just to, first of all, study and just to get back in the flow of everything. So we're just worried about our guys right now. We got a lot to do on our own. And this is something I said last year, is that we don't really change our style for anybody. We're hoping that they have to change to us, because I think we have a specific way that I like to play. We have certain movements in a game plan that I have in place for the guys, and I don't plan on changing it for anybody. Obviously, we'll make adjustments here and there as the game goes on, but I'm very much confident in our guys and how they're going to play. So I'm definitely looking forward to that game there. And right now we're in the process of getting through our rosters here, and kind of getting everyone back into shape, and getting back to our normal rotations and movements and everything. So we're worried about ourselves right now.
Right on. Well, the only change myself as a fan, and I'm sure the fans want to see, is that final score in the 2026 championship game. So as long as we can have that, that's good. So, Coach, this has been fun. Obviously, we'll do this a couple more times during the season. When you have time, we'll catch up with you and see where we are. But, as always, good luck with the season. I hope it goes great, obviously, as a fan. And, bring us a championship.
We're hoping for it. We're planning on it, and we'll do our best to make sure it happens.
Very good. Well, thank you for coming on to Crunchland, Coach, and we'll talk soon.
Very good. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Crunchland rocks, we got it all. Crunchland rocks, we got it all. Crunchland rocks, we've 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 got it all. Welcome to Crunchland, where the turf ignites. Cleveland's champs, we own the nights.